Hi there everyone, it's Anthony, and I'm about to react to another episode of The Walking Dead. So I'm finally on season 2, this is episode 1, and the title is What Lies Ahead. So after, the ending of season 1 with them leaving the CDC and everything, I talked about how it's kind of hopeful, but at the same time kind of negative because you're like, yeah, they got away, but still just to live out in this crazy world. So now we're about to see what lies ahead in this crazy world. So let's go ahead and get into it. The Walking Dead Season 2, Episode 1, What Lies Ahead. Alright, we can still see Atlanta there. This is another one of those extended first episodes of the Season 2 because it's like 62 minutes, so probably got a lot in store for us.
You can hear me.
Yep. There goes my church right there. My old church. That's crazy. That's where they were filming at in episode 4, Vatos. That building right there to the right of that big white building is the building they were filming inside of. That brown building over there. Oh, I know exactly where that is too. That's the Hurt building. That's down on GSU campus, which is like an open campus in downtown Atlanta. I know exactly where this building is. I've probably skated outside of it or something.
I met a man there.
That's Grady Hospital in the back.
But it can't be harder than our journey's been so far, can it?
I imagine that it can.
125 miles.
Wow, so Dwayne and Morgan never showed up again in season... Dwayne and Morgan. Yeah, they never showed up again in season 1.
Stay off the road.
I wonder if they'll show up this season.
Keep moving.
Goodbye, Atlanta. I have fun picking out all the stuff I recognize. This is really interesting, man. Like, I wonder how long he's gonna go without seeing Dwayne and Morgan again, because I almost wonder if they're just gonna continue to use these messages to Morgan as like, just ways to get a little bit of insight into what Rick is thinking. Because there's sort of the quasi voiceover here in a way, like it's the equivalent to if it opened up with Rick talking and giving a backstory of what he's thinking, what they just went through, just to the audience. Except rather than it being a voiceover directly to the audience, it's it's portrayed as a message to Morgan. I wonder how long they're gonna keep that up. If that's gonna be something that's consistent throughout this season. Or maybe we're gonna meet back up with them soon. Uh-oh, what's going on? Oh. Guess you're gonna have to get out and see what your options are looking like.
Ed never let me wear nice things like this.
Wow. Honestly, this lady sounds like she was like a slave or something to this guy. I do not blame her for smashing his head the way that she did.
Hey,
wow. I get that there's a lot of water there, but you're still being wasteful right now, dude. But I understand, they just haven't seen water in a minute now. But in this time period, you can't even afford to do that. Uh-oh. And you don't want to shoot him either because you don't know how many others there are. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. Stay down, man, but wow. Oh man, and Andrea's still in there working on that gun. Do you see all that outside? She sees it in her peripheral. Oh, T-Dog. Oh my gosh. Dang it, T-Dog. That looks like that hurts. And that was loud. Hi, Carl. Andrew is not in a good spot. It's so funny imagining that these are just actors walking around. That must have been probably a pretty fun job. They put on all this makeup and just... But on a serious in-universe note, this is a very tense, scary moment. Oh, man. Oh, man, she made a sound. Oh, no. Oh no. He was about to walk out too. He just turned back around, and all it takes is one to get started, and then the others are here. Will hear, and it'll just start going crazy, man. I play The Last of Us. I know how these zombie things work. Okay. Oh man. Daryl probably gonna be like, yeah, that's what you get. Made my brother cut his hand off. Yeah, he's up there. Hopefully he can help. Right through the brain. Gotta get him in the brain. There you go. Daryl's gonna help. Is Daryl gonna like save T-Dog in what way? Oh, that looks like a great way to get an infection. Oh, that's also a good idea for like, you know, shielding yourself. But yeah, T-Dog got that open wound. I hope that stuff doesn't. This is similar to Guts. Hiding using other dead bodies. Alright, are they out of the woods yet? It looks like it. They're not out of the woods yet. They are more in the woods than they ever were before now. Dang. I mean, like, ever were before in this very moment. Because one of them sees her and is about to alert the others, probably, yeah. She's just a little girl. Y'all won't even get that much of a meal out of her. I know they wouldn't kill her, man. The writers. They're not about to kill her, are they? Oh, yeah, I can feel that. I'm like, she about to trip. You can see it. Oh, yes. Okay. Nice sort of jump scare there. False scare.
No.
Imagine being just a little kid having to go through all this. Imagine being anybody of any age going through this. Not just a kid, but like a kid especially. But geez. And then her mother, like knowing she's getting chased down. Thank goodness these things are slow though, man. Imagine if they were like Usain Bolt. Only with an appetite for flesh and brains and whatever walkers like to eat. That's the one good thing about zombies or walkers in this instance. They're so stupid and slow. If you can just get the jump on them, you can pull stuff like that off. But if they come in numbers, then it gets a lot harder. Why am I talking like I speak from experience? Like, yeah, like I remember back in my day, I used to have to take walkers out all the time. And that's the thing about them. If you catch them off guard, like, what am I talking about?
Like the night camp got attacked. Just a wandering pack, only fewer.
I wonder if that's just instinctual. Do they have enough intelligence in that little glow in their brain to think to move in packs like that? They putting the kids through it this episode.
Shane, tell her to let me keep one.
Hey man, go give them all to Dale. Now, go.
He told Shane to tell her to let him keep one. Who do you think Shane is? Is he taking out some of his anger? Wait, I don't believe you. You're giving me the... Is he taking out some of his anger on Lori, on Carl now? Lori and Rick, I guess you could say the whole thing. Is he mad about that still? Obviously. And he's even letting that affect his relationship with Carl.
Flash. Only one way to know for sure. Anyway.
Wow, man.
Sharper.
They're checking the inside of his body to see if she's in there. Her remains. Man, this show is bringing people to have to do terrible things that it would never even cross your mind to have to do. A zombie apocalypse, if you will, brings people to have to do much worse things than just run from zombies and fight zombies. You have to just do downright nasty stuff like this, for one thing. And just a lot of other stuff that you would just not want to do, man. That you don't even think about until you're in the situation. I mean, I'm telling you, like, I remember the years I spent digging through walker bodies.
Yeah.
I'm totally telling you all this from first-hand experience. Man, if it gets dark and they're still out there in the woods, man.
Less guns we have floating around camp, the better.
You turning over your weapon?
Nah.
They've been kind of doing this from the start, haven't they? kind of having Andrea not be the best with guns and that coming up in different ways. Because wasn't it Andrea who didn't have the safety on against Rick?
How could you just leave her?
Those two walkers were on us. I had to draw them off. It was her best chance.
Yeah, man, I mean, like, you totally understand Carol being upset about that and I guess kind of blaming Rick there. I don't agree that it's his fault, but I mean, and I think he definitely did do the best he could. I mean, what he did made sense, but at the same time, like, I mean, it's completely 100% reasonable and valid for her to feel that way and be upset. I mean, that is her daughter after all. I mean, like, that was a calm reaction, honestly.
Not the trees.
And I hope
were-
that Rick is a good guy, man. It's like a lot of times, people are going to be mad about things. And I just hope Rick doesn't let things like that, get to him. And I'm sure he's not. Because, yeah, she's the mother of the girl. So she's going to be really upset about that. He knows he did what he could and whatnot. So I hope that, like, her being upset doesn't get to him and, like, knock him off his game. Because, he starts beating himself up like, oh my goodness, I did the wrong thing. And it starts throwing him off his game and making him doubt himself. Because that's just not going to be good for anybody. So I just hope that, Rick doesn't allow that to get to him too much and is still able to get the girl. And I hope that I hope they're able to find the girl and that she's able to forgive Rick for leaving her there. Because I can totally understand her being mad at Rick for that.
And if I decided that I had nothing left to live for, who the hell are you to tell me otherwise?
So that's what
You
he's
forced my
worried
hand
about
like that.
with the gun.
I saved your life.
No, Dale, I saved yours. You forced that on me.
Well, that definitely makes you look at that scene in the season finale of season 1 a little differently. Because, before I definitely just thought Dale had successfully, gotten her to, I guess, change her mind, if you will, and realize that maybe that she wasn't doing that for a reason she really wanted to. And kind of like I said in the last review or, reaction to that episode, that, she was kind of more so in that, I don't want to say mood, because I feel like that sounds way too light and not like it's a strong enough word to describe what I mean and what she was going through. But it felt like, whereas the other lady really was just ready to die, it felt like maybe she, she was grieving her sister and everything and was starting to, was just in this mindset of the only way I can see her again is to die. And that's just what I need to do. But maybe it wasn't what she really, really deep down felt was right or wanted to do. And so he was able to convince her to stop. But now what she's saying here is almost like, she really was ready and he forced her hand and, kind of forced her to do that just because she didn't want for him to die, which is definitely a bit of a different way of looking at it. And it's like another one of those situations where nobody is completely right or wrong because, I mean, if she wanted to die, yeah, technically that is her choice. But also you can't really be mad or upset with Dale for really wanting to try to save her life and everything. Like, I totally understand both sides. And it does sound like a little bit of a, like Dale kind of took that choice away from her by saying he was going to kill himself too, which definitely wouldn't have been for a good reason, which definitely would have been for a legitimate reason. It felt more like a bluff. But, yeah, it's just another one of those situations, man. So I think that's good writing when a show can write a situation where like this, where no one character can really just 100% be called the bad guy. Because they have completely justifiable actions and reasons, and we as people understand why they would do it. You know what I mean? It's not like where a villain, you look at them and you're like, why do they want to end the world? Why do they want to do that? They're just a terrible person for no reason. Like, Dale isn't a bad person for doing that. You can completely understand why he'd want to do that. But at the same time, I understand where she's coming from.
Ain't you supposed to be fixing that radiator? What if they come back with Sophia and Rick wants to move on right away?
Okay, so T-Dog got something for that arm.
I had it fixed yesterday.
What in the world? These things are in church. They're like, our prayers were answered. A bunch of nice meals. What are people's thoughts on religion in this show, I wonder, given the state of the world?
Jesse, you taking requests?
Prayed for Ed to be punished for laying his hands on me and for looking at his own daughter.
He
Whatever
provided that.
sadness was growing in his soul.
Wait, he was Wow.
Pray do put us.
I can't go back. Her being out here, it's my fault. It's great. Now I got you doubting yourself, huh?
It's exactly what I was just saying. Exactly what I was just saying. If Rick starts doubting himself because of this, I can just totally throw him off of his game. He's got to know he did what he had to do in that situation. Now, it's not like it's a matter of, oh, well, I did what I had to do. That's it. Yeah, now he's accountable for finding her. But don't doubt yourself, Rick. Find her. Do everything you have to do to find her. Just don't doubt yourself. You did what you had to do.
Hey, look, I don't need all the answers. Just a little nudge, a sign. Any sign will do.
We got a monologue from Rick at the beginning of the episode, and now one here kind of towards the end of the episode. Both times with him talking to someone that he's not sure is listening. Oh, this show is like, if they do not find Sophia, this show is crazy. Like, that's just so depressing if they actually don't find Sophia. She says she's sick of the look she's giving her. Just here, take the gun.
I don't know that any of us would have gone after her the way he did, or made the hard decisions that he had to make, or that anybody could have done it any differently. If you think you can do this without him, go right ahead. Nobody is stopping you.
Exactly. Ride for your man. That's right. But for real, though, I mean, like, Rick does so much. I mean, I understand these people are going through a lot, too. So I totally understand, especially her being upset with him. But at the end of the day, yeah, Rick does so much, man. And the girl would have been lost, like, if Rick hadn't gone down there, too. So, I mean, you can't be, I mean, I understand her being mad. But, yeah, I'm just saying, the girl, I totally understand her being mad. I'm not trying to say she shouldn't be mad. Don't get it twisted. But, yeah, the girl would have been lost if Rick hadn't gone down there, too. So it's like, at least he went down there and has a better idea of what's going on. It kind of reminds me of, it's not the same thing at all, but it did put me in the mind of that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where David Schwimmer lost his watch. And so then he had lost his watch, and then Larry found his watch and told him, I'm going to bring you your watch. I just found it. I'll bring it to this meeting. But then Larry somehow managed to lose the watch on the way to the meeting. So then David blamed Larry for losing his watch and was like, now you owe me a new watch. And Larry's like, you lost your watch anyway, and I just found it and then lost it again. But it's like the watch was lost either way. I know it's not the same thing at all, and this is way worse. It just put me in the mind of that. This episode is almost over. I feel like they're not going to find Sophia in this episode. Maybe at the very end.
No!
I really don't know what to say right now. I really don't know what to even say. Is Carl really going to die? Like, this whole time I was thinking, if they really kill Sophia, if they let Sophia die or just get lost, this show is, like, they are not playing around. Like, and you're almost conditioned to just think, that's not going to happen. No TV show is going to just, like, kill a kid this quickly into the series, like, especially, like, one of the main characters. Kids, not including the zombie kid that got killed in the first scene of the show, but still, like, oh my gosh. And I honestly, truly did not see that coming whatsoever. Talk about a bait and switch. This whole episode, we are thinking about Sophia and trying to find her, and we're watching Carl do all these things where he's stepping up. He's growing up, like Lori said, when did you start growing up so fast or whatever? This whole episode, Carl is just out here. He's finding weapons. he's volunteering to go out on the things, on the fights, and you're like, oh wow, Carl is really trying to step up, and it's fun watching this growth and development that's happening here, and you're interested in seeing where that's headed. And it felt like this deer moment was about to be a pretty big moment too. You're like, oh wow, so that's what this is headed to. This was, this whole episode's been showing this growth of Carl, and maybe now this is going to be like one final scene to kind of, put a button on that arc for at least this episode, to really see Carl growing and whatnot. You think it would you think it would last before. You think it would last beyond this, but it just felt like there was something powerful about to happen with that deer that was really going to, sort of capsulate, or I don't even know what word to use, but, you just felt like something powerful there was going to happen. But what you did not feel like was going to happen, or at least what I did not feel like was going to happen, was that Carl was going to be shot by some bullet out of nowhere. I guess another hunter that was killing the deer. Wouldn't it be crazy if it was Andrea? Like, yeah, I finally got a gun now. Nah. But for real though, I guess it was like another hunter killing a deer, and they just didn't care that Carl was right there. Man, that is crazy. If Carl dies, I still kind of don't feel like Carl's gonna die though. Only because the way they ended this, with Carl getting shot, that's gonna lead you into, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen next? What's gonna happen in the next episode? And you're gonna wanna see it. Not all the time, but like 8 times out of 10 when a show ends like that, where you're like, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen to this character? The character ends up being fine the next episode around. Most of the time. Because, they wanted to end on a big dramatic cliffhanger. But, if the character is actually gonna die, they usually don't do it in a way like that. Usually that's done, in a bit of a different sense, where I don't even know how to describe what I'm saying. It just doesn't usually happen like that. Usually this is used for a different reason. But, you never know. This show has already been killing people way faster than I would have expected. And eventually you start to just think, you know what? They probably will actually let him die. They probably will actually kill him. That's the thing that most shows wouldn't do. But, Walking Dead might be like, no, we're not going to be like most shows. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I really don't know what to think right now. I just know that was a very tense episode. Total bait and switch. We're worried about Sophia the whole time, not knowing that Carl's about to get shot at the end of the episode. Daryl this episode was pretty cool. I can imagine that he's going to start to become a more likable character as the series goes on. Because when he was first introduced as Merle's brother, you're thinking about Merle. And then it was the way Daryl was acting when he found out that his brother had been left, which was understandable. But still, Daryl did not come across as a very likable character. But as the episodes have gone on, especially in this episode, Daryl definitely is starting to bring himself more into the favor of the audience, I think. So, and I could even kind of honestly get the sense that people like Daryl just from some of the comments. It wasn't really spoilers or anything, but the way people talked about Daryl, I could kind of tell his character was probably headed to being a better person than what he was, portrayed as in that first time where we met him. So, yeah, so Daryl definitely this episode, especially with how he helped T-Dog and everything, and how he was been trying so hard to find Sophia. Daryl was a good guy in this episode. Shane has been, going more and more down, at least in my favor. I'm starting to like Shane less and less. I just think he's being way too childish and immature for the situation that's going on. I understand that he's human, that he's flawed. I understand that he, feels the things he feels. So I'm not completely just faulting him for that, because I understand it. I'm not saying I think it's just completely dumb, but I think that he has a lot of people that's counting on him right now. And right now, the mature, responsible thing to do would be to stop letting his personal feelings get in the way of things. His personal feelings, I understand them, but people's lives are at stake right now. And him leaving is not helping anything. It's just him trying to, satisfy his own whatever. He feels so bad about himself, so now he's wanting to leave so that he doesn't have to see those two. But honestly, I think that Shane's going to have to kind of do some growing up himself. You know what I mean? Carl's been doing all this maturing and developing. What's Shane doing? Like, Shane's just been going the other way. This world has a bad effect on people, though. So, you know, I can understand it. He might be acting this way because of the pressures of the world around him. But I think that Shane is going to have to, you know, stop this. He's going to have to step up and eventually, you know, mature. Look at Rick as an example, because Rick is the perfect example. But, yeah, man, that really just left me speechless. That ending there with Carl getting shot. Don't know what to expect with that, man. So I think I'm just going to stop it right there, because I don't even know. I don't even know what to think or what to feel right now. I just know that this was a great episode, a great start to the season. And man, I hope they find Sophia. I hope Carl survives. But if they don't, if either one of them ends up dying, all right, Walking Dead, you have shown me that you just do not care, that you are ruthless. I get it. Okay, good for you. Gosh, you're just gonna keep on ripping our hearts out, and like, oh my gosh, fine, Walking Dead. If that's how you want to play, fair game. Let's do this. You know what? Leave a comment down below. Let me oh my gosh, dude, I can't talk right now. This is crazy. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you would like to see more. And head on over to Patreon if you're watching this on YouTube, because Patreon has full uncut reactions to The Walking Dead that are coming out weeks ahead of the episode reactions that are coming out on YouTube. Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna go do whatever, decompress, figure out what I just saw. Until next time, I hope that you all live Walker free.